Hey everyone, this is Shayna from wordofmouth.org, and I'm here with wordofmouth.org crash course speaker, Steve Farber. Steve, can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. I've got, it's kind of a hard question to answer because I've got 3 books. Well, it used to be 3 books, now it's 2, if that makes any sense. My first book was called The Radical Leap. It came out in April of 2004. The second book, The Radical Edge, came out in April of 2006, and the third book was Greater Than Yourself, which came out in 2009. And I've recently taken the first 2 books, Leap and Edge, and republished them in one volume called The Radical Leap Re-Engergized. So I used to have 3 books, now I have 2. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say The Radical Leap Re-Energized is really it's the foundation for what I've come to call extreme leadership.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So the main things that you'll get from reading the book is really to learn how to be not just a leader but an extreme leader and the distinction between the two. And also the elements for what I've come to call the radical edge, which is to stoke your business, amp your life, and change the world. In other words, to be more successful in your work, to have greater joy and meaning in your life, and have an impact on the world around you all at the same time. Those are not mutually exclusive ideas. And finally, it's a handbook for really getting the most out of your work, regardless of what your position or title is. Leadership has got nothing to do with if you're a micro entrepreneur or a CEO of a major corporation, if you have people that report to you or don't. Everybody has an extreme leadership opportunity. So it doesn't matter if you hold the title of leader. What matters is how you step up, the way that you work, the relationships that you build, and the impact that you have on the world around you. And the Radical Leap Re-Energized is really a primer for really having a significant impact in all those arenas.
Great. So what would be the top 3 lessons people can learn from the Radical Leap Re-Energized?
Well, lesson number 1 is to take a radical leap, which is cultivate love, generate energy, inspire audacity, and provide proof. It's kind of the operating system for extreme leadership. Lesson number 2 are guidelines to really change your piece of the world for the better. The world doesn't have to be capital W world, as in the whole wide world, as we used to call it when we were kids, but changing the world of your company, your team, your community, your neighborhood, your family, one person in your family. So lesson number 2 is guidelines for changing the world. And lesson number 3 is that leadership is a deeply personal act. So it's not just about how you act and what you say and the relationships that you build, which is all important, but it's really about asking very deep, fundamental questions like, why do you love your work? What's important about the relationships that you have? What are you really trying to do with your business, et cetera? So you'll learn how to ask what those fundamental questions are and how to ask them in a way that really makes a difference for you.
Awesome. What is your number 1 secret to word-of-mouth success?
I have no secrets. I'm incredibly transparent.
You're an open book.
Well, I think secret number 1. This is going to sound really, I don't know, maybe simplistic on the surface, or maybe obvious, but secret number 1 is to have something worth talking about. Your body of work, regardless of whether or not you write books or you run a company or you have you're involved in your community, whatever you do is really that's your body of work, your track record, the things you've been involved in, the things that you've the relationships that you've built. We all have a body of work, not just authors and artists, et cetera. So the degree to which your body of work is meaningful to other people, the more they'll talk about it. And the one thing I would add to that is, maybe this is 2 secrets, one thing I'd add to that is, as people respond to your body of work, as they respond to the influence that you're having, and they reach out to you personally, make sure that you reach back. In other words, don't, if you see something on Twitter or or somebody comments on your blog, or you get an email one day from somebody that says, I really like what you're doing, take the extra effort to pick up the phone and call that person and make the personal connection.
Awesome. What is your favorite word-of-mouth story of all time?
Well, now, would that include just things that happen on social media and whatnot?
It can be anything.
Okay. If I could be so presumptuous as to tell my own story on this.
Go for it.
There's a lot of question about business people. I hear business people ask this question all the time: is social media really worthwhile? Does it translate into business? And in my experience, it does. And that's, to me, that's kind of the ultimate word of mouth. If you look on Twitter, for example, it's just people, tweeting all day long. It's just mouths going off. And, I have, as everybody should with their own business, I have particular search terms, locked in Twitter. So, for example, the title of my books. And one day I saw it popped up on Twitter that there was somebody in a company somewhere that was reading the Radical Leap. It was a company called TriNet, and the tweet said something like, "We are about to start reading the Radical Leap for our book club." So we started to explore that, my office and I. Who's TriNet? What are they reading? Why are they reading it? And we reached out to them, and the next thing I knew, they invited me to come in and speak. And I spoke to their senior management team, and that led to actually they're helping me in the publishing of the Radical Leap Re-Energized, and then sending it out to all of their clients. And now I'm doing a whole extreme leadership a program for TriNet's clients. They're an HR outsource, services company to small and medium-sized businesses. So it all started with a tweet. I mean, one little tweet that took somebody 2 seconds to write has led into one of the most significant business partnerships that I have.
That's very cool. Well, it's all the time we have right now, but you can come to the wordofmouth.org crash course in Austin on May 10th to hear more from Steve Farber and for one day of love, happiness, and word of mouth. Go to wordofmouth.org/crash course to register.